this song, even if you can't admit it. What inspires you? How much a fit costs? Yo, what's your handle on TikTok? Man, that last song was crazy. Me and my girl made a baby. Listen to you getting freaky and shit. Man, I appreciate it. But maybe don't tell me all that. Just say the song really slaps, and I'll hit you back with a big ol' high five, and I'll think about you while I'm counting my stacks. Cause I work hard, make art. Hope I get an interview with Nard. Or I wanna eat at the table where the stars are. I just wanna be it, Bill Skarsgård. I just wanna make a hit, have $1 million crib with an airplane hangar where my cars are. So I guess I need a catchy hook then. It's a catchy hook bar, you can't forget it. Hear this shit one time, you gon' regret it. Now you singing it right back, just like I said it. Man, you love this song, even if you can't admit it. Stop the beat, I gotta drop some heat. Do the running man on it, don't watch my feet. Then I bring it right back like a time machine. I got the whole world feeling my shit. Hit after hit, I'm first at the gate like a Bronco. Oh, he cute and he rap with a combo. But his head's in the clouds like a condo. Call me King James like I'm sitting on LeBron Stone. Pass the torch, I'm back and forth and back for more. I pass the score, I've been carrying the game for a minute and my back is sore. They gon' hate it when I start winning black awards. Yo, what are you doing? You can't say shit like that. It's fine, the hook's so catchy, no one's even gonna remember. It's that catchy hook bar, you can't forget it. Hear this shit one time, you gon' regret it. Now you singing it right back, just like I said it. Man, you love this song, even if you can't admit it. It's that catchy hook bar, you can't forget it. Hear this shit one time, you gon' regret it. Now you singing it right back, just like I said it. Man, you love this song, even if you can't admit it.
Woo! James Fabron! Woo! James, I've been listening to your song on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. So great. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to do this so we can really dive in and just be focused on you, okay? So the next 45 minutes to an hour, let's focus on you. I see some familiar faces. I love to see Ash. Michael, you're new to this community. I'd love you to come off mute. Tori, come off mute. Amazing, amazing. Okay, this is so great. iPad, can you put your name in? That would be so good. And as people probably log on as we go. So,
how many people are there?
Nice to meet you, Michael. This is great.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So welcome, welcome, welcome. So nice to meet you. And you signed up for ADI. Woo! Michael! Give me a sense, Michael, why did you do that? I'm just going to jump in with you for a second. Why did you sign up?
So I found you on TikTok and I was watching a lot of your videos. I was looking for a vocal coach in Toronto.
Yeah.
And then I actually spoke to one of your colleagues, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I was getting the emails and I was like, you know what? This is exactly where, like, even aside from singing and music, just in my career right now, because I'm a hairstylist and I have been for the last 9 years, I just felt like a lot of the themes that you were going to talk about are exactly where I'm at right now in my life. So I felt like it would be beneficial.
It's so great. We just had on one of our Speak Like a Star program. It's like a communications program. We actually had another hairdresser on.
Oh, wow.
So I love that the coaching. So I'm going live also on Instagram. We're just hitting it all today, okay? I completely am the worst administrator. And so if you're running your own business like Michael, you can really relate that it's hard to wear a million hats, right, Michael? It's like impossible to wear a million hats. However, something that I posted resonated with Michael, and it probably resonated with any of you that are also on here, or you wouldn't be here. And so that is what we're talking about today, is how to stand out. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It is irrelevant what industry you're in. To stand out in life, what does that mean? What does that mean? Who can dive in and let me know? What does it mean to stand out? iPad, put your name in there. What does it mean? You can come off mute because we're such a small group. So, Ash, what does it mean to stand out?
To shine, to shine your light, to give your gifts.
Sure. I love that. James, what does it mean to stand out?
I think it just means to be like your most exuberant self.
So, like, to be your best self, right? So
Yeah.
you said to shine and be your best. Okay, what else? Michael, what does it mean to stand out?
I would say like showing your point of view, like your specific individual point of view, and
Interesting.
showcasing that to the world.
So to have, first of all, you have to have one.
Exactly. Yes. Got to start there.
Yeah. So we need to have a point of view. And I don't know, does anyone ever read my? I do write a lot. I don't know what's happened to me in my life, but hang on. I'm trying to go. I'm going to discard that. I'm going to try going live again here. So I've been writing a lot in the last, I don't know, 4 years. And I'm a person who really has come up with this. You need an opinion. If you want to stand out, you need to have an opinion, which means that you are in a constant state of learning, growing, developing that opinion forever. You have to be a person with a growth, maybe you've heard this before, but mindset. To stand out in the world, you can't just have one opinion. You have to keep evolving your opinion. And then you have to attract the audience, which is one of the things we're going to talk to you guys about today, in order to share that opinion. So I'm so glad that I'm on Instagram. Also, we're going live on YouTube as well. So I just want everyone to know that, so that, we can really make an impact, right? If I have a point of view, if I want to be my best self, if I want to shine, like Ash said, I have to be feeling like whatever I'm doing is worthy of shining, of worthy of sharing. It's worthy. And if we haven't invested in ourselves, probably your self-worth is going to hold you back from standing out. Does that make sense? Who feels right now, who's on here with me? Kirsten, so great to have you here too. How do I, Mandam? Is that how I pronounce it, Mandam? Mandam, tell me, what does it mean to stand out to you?
My definition of standing out is a little different. I think that just being unapologetic about who I am makes me stand out.
Unapologetic. First of all, I love all the uns.
I'm not sure how to put my name.
Yes,
but
please.
my name is Savannah, and I wanted to say that I feel like being different from the rest, from everybody else. Like,
So
you can take a little bit of everybody's opinion or everybody's style and then like make it your own, but like make it different, and bring like your own style to the table.
Right. So there's this enormous sense, all of you seem to really be on it, about being. None of you started with having. It was very interesting. None of you talked about big numbers. Not one person has said, I need 1 million followers. Not one person has said, I need 1 million streams. You've all been talking about a state of being, that I feel like whatever I'm doing, who I am as a person, is different. It's my best. I shine. I've got a point of view. I've invested in myself to have that point of view. I have some kind of growth mindset, because if I don't, keep trying to be different, right? I got to keep pursuing myself in order to keep finding my point of view. And then I love it, Mandam, what you said about being unapologetic. Okay, so this is a lot. We've already dived into some amazing qualities that help you stand out. But then why did you show up? You all seem to have the answer. And here is probably why. Because to really stand out in all of the things that you just said, and I shared in my email that we would talk about 4 distinctions. So let's dive into them. The most important. Consistent. And the problem with being consistent is a lot of artists find it boring. But we have to be consistent in sharing and showing who you are, what you do, why you do it, and who you do it for. Write those questions down. Write those things down. I have to be consistent in showing and sharing my point of view. I have to be consistent in showing that I am different, that my views of the world, that what I'm working on and creating are just a little bit different, that the way I say something is a little bit different, that I can shine, that I can be my best, that I can be unapologetically myself. But this is where we fail. This is, if we, I often will draw this. I am here in your career, in your life, and you want to go there. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? I'm here, but I want to keep growing. I want to keep sharing. I want to keep attracting the audience. How do I get there? And there's this horrible pitfall that we often fall into because we're not consistent, because we haven't built the muscle, because it's a muscle like anything else, right? Those of you who are singers know that I have to sing every day in order to sing and trust the sound that comes out of my mouth. And so do you. You have to trust who you are. I'm just going to mute you just as we go, but I'll unmute you as we go too. Katera, so great to have you. Mandam, so great. Did you sign up for ADI, Mandam? I feel like I recognize your name, maybe. So this is so great. So consistency is the key, but it's not sexy, is it? Consistency sounds boring. Who feels like that's a boring word? Oh, none of you? This is very cool. Okay, so being consistent is really the key. It's like if I am consistent in my ability to show and share who I am, I can attract the right people who are going to help me accomplish the goal, accomplish the where I want to go, the destination. And along the way, instead of it being, remember we said about having, so often we get, if I only have more money, if I only have more followers, I'll stand out. You wait. If I book a show, if I get to open for, some huge, like Taylor Swift next year, if I get that opportunity, I'm going to stand out. So let's use this as a standout goal for today. Okay, so this is our, out. Okay, you understand, my writing is horrible. So the goal is to stand out, and I'm here, and I want to stand out. And we already know it has nothing to do with having anything, because having is a result. It's a result of being, and you guys are already so well underway. So what is another distinction that is going to make this consistent? Yes, Ash.
Okay, can I just own something? Okay, like as an artist, like I am so like, I think the thing that I struggle the most with is like I have this deep like fear of even being on Zoom. It's like just talking like in front of people, about my opinions and stuff like that, right? When it comes to the singing and the performance and like the heart and everything, like that's like effortless for me. But when it comes to like getting a message out, like my nervous system's like, even though I have a message, but what I want to say about what you're saying is oftentimes I think what I'm getting is like people focus so much on like the getting before they even like, it's like focusing more on like, what am I giving than like, what am I getting out of this? It's like, what am I giving? How can I give? Because the result of receiving is based on what you're giving, right? It's like, as I give, it's like the golden rule. It's like, as I give, I receive, right?
Yeah.
So it's like just focusing on like, and then knowing it's like, give everything because you have everything to give. It's like the abundance mindset, Yeah, anyways.
You can only give, so this is another very good distinction that Ash is bringing up. You can only give what you can afford to give. You can only give what you can afford to. And a lot of people give more, like you just pointed out, than they actually have, whether it's emotion, time, and then they resent it. And they feel broken or they feel drained. Has anyone felt that way? So you're giving and you're giving and you're giving, but now I don't, what am I getting? Because we give in order, what you just said was, there's a really good rule of life that says if I give, what do I get? And what we want to do as artists is give who we are, give what we're doing, what we're contributing to the world. You're so right. We're going to build the muscle so that I don't drain who I am because of it, because I have a strong why I want to give. If the why is to get, you will be drained. Every time. Every time. If the why you're giving is having an expectation, here's another distinction, is the distinction between an expectation and being committed to something. And it's a Buddhist distinction, and it's one that really will save you emotionally. Why do I do these programs? There's my why. Why do I do it? Because it's free. I do it for many, many reasons, and I'll tell you. Number one, I do it because I really care. I care about the artist so deeply, and the artist of all artists. Michael, I care about you because you're an artist mindset. You're someone in your nature that is a creative. Creative people are more sensitive, typically. We are more empathetic. We take on the qualities of the world, and we create because of it. We see things, we observe things, we have a point of view. And we have a little voice that says, I want to share it. I want to share it. I want to share it. Does that make sense? But we get drained because we are so empathetic. We take on the world's, cares and empathy and hardships, and it drains us. And so I do this because I care about you. Because I was once an artist myself, because I wish that I had a coach like me, at the time, who might provide some stability around being more emotionally consistent. My why gives me energy. I am very clear that when I coach, I get, period. I don't need you to give me anything. I'm just letting you know. I show up as me so consistently in my adjectives, which we're going to do in ADI. I am so consistent in who I am. And this is for me training. I am constantly building the muscle to be the coach that I know the world needs, that my clients need. And I do it for me, man. My why is for me. It's not for you. I did say that I care about you, but my why is not about you. Okay, listen to what I just said. I care deeply about you, but why I'm here, why I show up, why I coach the way that I do is for me. Because it is my way of self-expression. It is my way of being my greatest self. Like James said, it is my way of being my best self. So I am never drained. And I am consistent in my energy because I know why I'm here. And if you don't know why you are doing anything in your life, if you are doing it to get, you will be drained. If you do it because you get something yourself, you will always have energy. And you will be unapologetic. Madame, like you will be always unapologetic. You will show up unapologetically consistent, unapologetically inspiring, unapologetically with an opinion that is going to rock the world because you know why you're there. That's how you're going to stand out in the world, because then I'm standing out not based on what other people's opinion of me is. I've been coaching several pretty big Canadian artists right now who have been on tour. Roy Woods. I'm working with Elijah Woods right now, both Woods. How hilarious is that? Elijah Woods, who's about to go to Asia and do a whole Asian tour, but he just did a Canadian tour, which was amazing. My connection here is not good, so I'm just going to end that because it's driving me crazy. So hang on. Boom. See, that's where own your environment, people. Okay, so I'm coaching, and tonight I have a beautiful singer. Her name's Eleanor McCain, performing at the Glenn Gould Theater. So we've been focusing a lot with all these artists on showing up whether the audience is interested or not. I'm going to perform at a level no matter what, because I've done the training, whether there's one person in the room or 10,000 people in the room. I'm not reliant on the vibe of the room because I know that I can change it, because I have the power in me to change it. Do you? How do I change the vibe in the room? It's with who you are. So I am not reliant on who else is in the room at all. And I'm going to set myself up for success based on what I need. What do I need to be that? And this is a great way of thinking about standing out. What do I need to stand out, to build the muscle, to be consistent? I'm going to set up trainings like this, because every time I do it, I get better. I'm going to build my skill. So let's talk about this for just a second. This is super important to stand out, everybody. And I just did this with somebody the other day too. So we start with some kind of inspiration. Michael, how did you know you were going to be a good hairdresser?
How did I know I was going to be a good hairdresser? Because I knew that I was interested in it, and I knew that nothing was going to stop me from being the best. That's the
But
honest.
but did you have a hairdresser that was particularly good, or you know what I mean?
Um,
What
so
inspired you?
so honestly, like I have been wanting to do hair since I couldn't even remember, like maybe 10 years old, and I didn't know why. I didn't know. Well, before that, I wanted to be a singer, though. That was always, and that's probably why we're here. But
The secret is Michael's going to be singing in about a year from now. But
that's probably the secret. This was just something I did in between. No.
I love it.
I always just was interested in it. I loved going to the hair salon. I loved watching my mom get her hair done, and then my cousin became a hairstylist, and then I would watch her. So like I was always interested in it,
Yeah.
and I myself was not, I guess, confident and sharing that with the world when I was young, just based off of like the surroundings I was in or whatever. Like saying I wanted to be a hairdresser was not really looked upon as like a positive thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started, and honestly, when I decided I was going to do it, it was like, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And that from the moment I started, I kind of hit the ground running, and it's been about 9 years now, and it's been an amazing, successful. I've built a business. I've have thousands of followers online. Like it's been
Oh,
great because I had that drive, and I knew that no one was going to stop me from what I'm doing. That's
I love
honestly the only answer.
Everyone grab a piece of paper, and we're going to just follow this along because Michael just gave us so many nuggets. We get inspiration from a lot of different things. It could be from hearing something, seeing something, experiencing something. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of ings here. Watching, observing, listening, experiencing. And then you kind of get this idea like, Michael, I'm going to try it. And my God, when I try it, I'm kind of good at it. Right? Who feels that? What I'm saying? When you try something, it's like, oh, I open my mouth. Oh, I can actually sing. Oh my God, I'm trying cutting hair. By the way, Michael, I cut my kids' hair and my husband's hair. And I'm a little bit like, ever since I declared myself a creative, which I never identified myself as, I've
Me too.
allowed myself to be creative in all things. So it's so freeing. I love it. Okay, I become good at it when I try. How do I become great at it? And this, just for us all, just to start following with me here, is through skill. So write down 1, 2, 3, or 4 things here that you can build your skill in whatever area you feel inspiration in. I try it. At first I get inspired. Then I try it and I'm kind of good at it. But the good leads to wanting to build more skill to become great at it. Follow me here. So what is the way? Well, programs, just like this. Experience. Trying it, right? More and more and more. Coaching. And as it's like a trial and error, the more I build skill, I all of a sudden become great at it. Here can be some validation along the way. And Michael just talked about it. Along the way, there's some validation. Somebody in your life, and in Michael's case, it's some clients. Just give me a second. I'm going to do that so you can see it. I notice, oh my gosh, I'm really great at it. Okay? Now what happens? How do I become excellent? Or extraordinary? Because extraordinary, you know what I mean? Stand out. Because we're here today to talk about standing out. I can start to stand out here, can't I? You know, when you're 5 and 10, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're really good at that, right? And we start to feel like, oh, yeah. So we're already starting to stand out here. We build more skill, and we notice that we are standing out in being different, right? All of a sudden, other people who were good at it too aren't great at it. And the more skill, you find that you can really stand out even more, can't you? But what happens to get here is doing. The more you do, the more excellent you're going to be. And this is the hard part because this was a being. Okay, this is what we were talking about earlier. But in order to really stand out now, in order to really be excellent, in truly to be unapologetic, let's put all the uns, undeniable, it's a big word that I love, undeniable, I need to be doing this, sharing this, connecting, declaring. These are just words that I think can really start to resonate. If you aren't declaring it, how is anyone gonna know? And if you're doing it in silence, in the comfort of your home, you're probably stuck here, aren't you? And that's why there's pain, because it's like, I know I can get there. And I think, Ash, you were kind of talking about it. It's like, I know I can get here. I just don't want to really talk about it. I don't want to share it. I don't have the skills to do it, to communicate what you're doing. And of course, I'm going to fill this in a second. Let me give you some examples of this, okay? So some examples of this would be Drake. And I just wrote this in the article that I wrote for Canadian Musician Magazine. Drake did a concert in Toronto. I had lots of people who were there. I was not there this time. And I work with Roy Woods, who signed to OVO. So I've been to many of Drake's shows over the years. He took the time to stop the show an hour in, an hour and 15 minutes in. And he took about 15 minutes, which in any show is like deadly. And he just walked around the stage. Who was there? Who was there? Or have you seen any footage about this? He just walked around the stage, which was a satellite stage, and everyone was holding up their signs, right? Like, pay my tuition, pay my rent, I'm your biggest fan. And he called people out and said, I will. I'll pay your tuition. Okay, someone write down their name, go get them. I'll pay your rent. I see your sign. You want to stand out? See people. Be seen. And make people feel seen. Make people feel special. Okay? Special. Now, I could tell you that that was completely smart of him to do that. He, I am sure, equally does it anonymously too. Okay? So there's lots of artists and athletes and people who are just extraordinary philanthropists, and they are giving on a regular basis, and you don't know about it. The difference is, to get to this level of being undeniable, you need an undeniable amount of skill. You need an undeniable amount of experience, and you have to be willing to share it, to declare it, to shout it from mountaintops, because no one is going to know if you don't. And it's painful here because no one, you're waiting. You're waiting for someone to do it for you. And I know, because I've been there, I know that you can build this and be great. And you can even start to build towards being undeniable in your skill. But the missing balance to this is actually sharing, connecting, declaring, and communicating it. And getting so good at that it is effortless. This has to become effortless. How can you be extraordinary and undeniable and consistent? Okay, let's add consistent because we said that. When it's effort. One of the distinctions today that I wanted to talk about is effortless effort. And if it still feels like effort, then we have more skill to build. In this area, yes, vocally, your skills as a hairdresser, your skills as a painter, your skills as a teacher, your skills as a performer, writer, more skill, more time, right? How do I build my skill? I always say it's time, effort, money. But that's not all. It has to be also your emotional state. I'm giving you gold right now. I'm giving you gold right now because you can't build your skill working with the wrong people. You cannot build your skill working in an environment that makes you doubt yourself, makes you feel like shit. You just can't, because why? You lose this. And once you lose this, it's over, man. It's over. The creative self stifles, gets stopped. So this is extremely important, that you surround yourself with the right people at the right time. The right people who are going to build this experience, give you the validation you need, the courage, the encouragement to start to share, declare, shout it out from mountaintops, and communicate who you are, what you do, why you do it, and who you do it for. Does this make sense? And most people get stuck right here. So even if I start to feel this, I will sabotage myself. I'm just letting you know. Most people will sabotage themselves because they don't build these skills. They stay over here. And if they're lucky enough to surround themselves with the right people, amazing. But often you don't. Most people don't. So we have to get back to inspiration, which is this. And let's add a few more on this side, which I think makes really good sense, which is people. The right people at the right time. Does that make sense? It's like, this is how I started. And I might have to go, if I lose any inspiration in here, I've got to probably go back, maybe to watching a concert, watching a podcast. I love that Vic Blends, Michael. I love Vic Blends. Do you watch him on TikTok? I love him. I don't know why. I just, I'll find things that are inspiring. So I'm watching and I'm observing. And this is kind of anonymous, isn't it? This is anonymous. So I go back to maybe my anonymous self. I might read a book. I might take a program. like this. You're taking a program. And I am calling you out, but for the most part, you're anonymous, right? So that's often where inspiration is. It's in the safety of our home. It's in the comfort of being, listening again to a podcast. I might be exercising and I'm by myself. But this, really to get back to this, is going to require the right people at the right time. And you will know it because something in here is missing. And you're going to say, but what is it? It's people. It's community. I'll give you an example of a band that you may have heard of. They're called Phish, Phish. And I've never been a huge fan. I don't do drugs. I don't know. I think you have to be a bit of a pothead to really dig it. So if you go search it. But about 20 some odd years ago, I went to a show and I wrote them off. It was packed. It was packed. It was at the Budweiser at the time. It was the Ontario Place Forum, and it was massively successful. Oh no, maybe it was at Budweiser. At any rate, it was huge, 20 some odd years ago. And I just didn't get it. I was like, they're soloing for 20 minutes on the same chord. I don't know. I just didn't get it. But I went with my husband in August in New York, and they were there for 5 or 6 nights, and we had bought tickets for 2. And that I never understood either. Why do people go to all 7 nights? The fans of this band go to 7 nights, you guys. Okay? And I'll give you even more tips about them. They don't care what the industry says about them at all. They stopped chasing the industry on day 1 when they declared themselves a band. They've made no apologies. They are unapologetic of the fact that they have borrowed so much of the Grateful Dead. They are not completely unique. So they aren't so different. So here's where different is important. Successful people leave clues. And if you're trying to reinvent the wheel and you're not building skills from the right people, you're not observing the right people, then you're trying to do it all on your own, and it's exhausting, man. You're not that different. So they are a perfect example of what they're doing is not so different, but who they are is. Who they are is unique. And then how are they connecting to their fan base? They keep pushing the envelope, trying new things. That is how they are attracting the right people at the right time. So one of the things that they do to build culture is, and Taylor Swift, guys, just stole this from them and has been on interviews saying that she learned it from Phish, which is this bid. You go online and you bid for the tickets. You don't just buy the tickets. You put yourself in the queue. You're like, I really want these tickets. And what has that done? You want to learn? Okay, did you all take a screenshot of this? Because this is pretty huge, right? What I just did here. I would take a screenshot of it. And of course, I'm going to give a replay. Okay, I will give a replay of it too. Okay, pretty huge. Okay, so is this. You have to build anticipation. People who stand out understand psychology. Certainty, uncertainty. I don't know if I'm spelling that right at all. Okay, I'm completely dyslexic. The fact that I've written as many books as I have in articles is shocking. Okay? That's for ADI. I'll get more into a deeper dive into that in a sec when we're together on ADI. But in order to build anticipation, what you're doing is so exciting. What you're doing is so amazing. People have to be there. You are declaring, you are sharing, you are shouting it out from the rooftops now. I got to get people there, which means that I've got to play on people's sense of certainty and uncertainty. If it's all certain, it gets boring really quickly. If the band does the exact same show for 7 nights, do you think people are going to book 7 nights again? No, because there's some level of what song are they going to play? I don't know. Like, this is exciting. They have done 13 dates at Madison Square Gardens. They're the only band. They are more than Billy Joel. Okay? They have played Madison Square Gardens more than Billy Joel. They make more money, just go Google their net worth, than almost any other artist, and you have never heard their name if you have never heard their name. But once you've heard their name, you will start to talk, and you notice there's a sense of community here. And the community is based on certainty versus uncertainty. And I'll keep going down this a little longer. I don't know what songs they're going to play, but I am certain it's going to be fucking fire. I have no idea where I'm sitting, because when you put your name in the queue, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Nobody pays more for floors than they do at the top. It is always around $100. What? A lot of certainty I just gave you. Certainty. But then where I am in there, I have no idea. Who am I sitting beside? I don't know. But guess what? You're going to be beside the same people for the next 2, 3, 4 nights, 5 nights, 6 nights, 7 nights. What does that do? Certainty. It builds community. They are the smartest band in the world, as far as I'm concerned, at marketing, and everyone needs to study them. I still don't really get them musically. I still don't. I really do think you have to be on something to kind of take yourself to another level, to experience the lighting and the sound and okay, I still don't really get it 100%. But I got this. I got this. And if you want to stand out, you've got to do this for your audience too. How cool is that? So I hope your wheels are starting to turn, because it's like, well, what certainty? So Ash, if you don't start to share it on a regular basis, there's no certainty. This would be trust. I can't trust you. Yo, that shit hit in your heart. Do you want people to trust you? Then you've got to build certainty. But I got to keep it exciting, or people are going to lose the anticipation to come back. Does this make sense? How cool is this? Are you starting to get your turning? Are you starting to think differently about what you're posting? What are you creating? You've got to start writing down almost certainty and uncertainty. Because if I don't build anticipation to come back to a program, do you know how many people have done ADI? Again and again and again. Do you know how many people I work with over many, many years? Why would they keep coming back? I haven't worked with Elijah Wood since 2019, the beginning of 2020. He come back because there's certainty. He trusts me. But there's also a level of excitement because he knows that I'm continuing to grow as a coach, that he's going to get something more, that there's going to be some new information that Lorraine is going to share that is going to blow his mind. Does this make sense? I'm doing it every day. Are you? And I am not hung up here at all in those big numbers, those big things. On ADI, we have a young A&R from Def Jam coming on, which is really cool. He found me, Michael, through TikTok also. I don't have big numbers on anything. It has nothing to do with the numbers. I work with an artist named Una because of that. Follow her right now. She had no numbers at all. And we went back to an old school, amazing view of success where the artist actually had to have the goods. This guy loved the songs and he loved her. And it didn't matter what the numbers were. She had no numbers. She had no music out. None. Zero music. So this idea that you have to build it, like, you know, the idea of build it and they'll come. Do you know the movie Field of Dreams? Build it and they will come. No, they won't. You build it first, there's nobody there. You buy all the food, you make the dinner, and you forgot to invite people to the dinner party. Okay? Nobody's coming if you are not building an anticipation for it. Does this make sense? I don't care how good it is. Nobody's coming to taste your thing that you've created. I don't care how much skill you have. I don't care how talented people told you you were. No one is coming, man, if you don't play this out and you don't learn the skill to stand out. And you'll be waiting for the rest of your life to do it. You'll be waiting to stand out when right now you be standing out. No one expects you to be Beyonce. Beyonce started out and she wasn't even Beyonce yet. She had to create an alter ego to do it. Because there's a future you that wants to stand out. True? There's a future you. So are we going to wait for the future you to show up, or are we going to start creating it right now? We got to create it right now. Does this make sense? So it's a lot of work, Kirsten. It's a lot of work. Your head is nodding. It's a lot of work to be consistent, isn't it? Come off mute for a second, because I saw you like,
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. It's so funny because everything that you're saying right now is just me taking accountability, but that's another story. Yeah, and I was consistent for the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden there was just a gap that I just hit, and you just hit everything, right? And it's all just about, okay, let's just take a step back. And it's all about this whole circle of being inspired. And that's one of my main adjectives is being inspired. And because I'm inspired, I create. And because I create, I develop my skill to be great. And eventually people get inspired by me so they can do great things too. But for me, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did fall off the gap, and quite frankly, I'm still trying to slowly climb out of the gap. But but in order for me to crawl out of that gap, I look at myself first and do a check-in of who I am right now and who I need to be to get out of the funk that I am. So as of, yeah, so.
So what Kristen's talking about is she knows who she is. She's done a lot of work on who she is, and you have. But this is the part that most people fail. Who do I need to be in order? I know who I want to see me as, but who do I need to be in order to be that? Because from a day to day life, circumstances, how I feel is going to let you down. If you run your life based on your feelings, and if you watch or follow a lot of TikToks, they're going to tell you, and I think the world, we've invested almost too much in our mental, and we stopped investing in mental strength, mental stability, mental toughness. Life is not. If you are comfortable, think about this. If you're comfortable right now, you have a job, financially you're comfortable, emotionally, you got some good friends in your life, okay? Maybe you're in that position. We would call that self-care. I'm looking after myself. It's a beautiful place to be, isn't it? It's a beautiful place to be. But eventually the human gets bored there. Be a voice, and not in everyone, but you're here because there is a little voice in your head that says, I want more. Mm-hmm. So first we're pursuing comfort. Okay, does this make, or happiness, maybe people could think of happiness. And then the little voice goes, I don't know, I want more. I think I'm meant for more. I think I'm meant to inspire people. Like Kirsten, I'm meant to inspire people. So who do I need to be to inspire people? Kirsten, who do you need to be to inspire people?
I need to be disciplined for one, and I need to be determined. That's a secondary. And I think I feel like
I love these. I'm such a songwriter, so I love determined and disciplined. I love when words light me up on the inside. I love when the communication to my tongue when I say it. Determined, disciplined, undeniable. Like I love the D's there, Kirsten. It's really, really good. So disciplined. Next would be what do you need to do? And this is going to go with why do you want? And this is important because see how I'm making kind of arrows so you can start to see loops, okay? I need to do something to feel this way. And disciplined, there's action that I have to take. There are actions, Kirsten, you have to implement. And why do you want to? Why do you want any of it? And this is important because if the why is not strong enough, you will let yourself down and you'll renegotiate. And it may take you, Kirsten, the rest of your life to develop it. And it might take you till tomorrow. It might take you like right now. Because I know after you do a program with me, you usually feel like amazing, right? I mean, this is why we have coaching. This is why we have community. This is why you go to church, right? You go to church, you have fellowship. It holds you accountable. And when you don't have enough accountability in your life, you will let yourself down. And it's okay. It happens all the time. It's just a matter of what is the gap between the next time you fall off the wagon or not. How do you get back up? You are going to fall. Are you strong enough to get up? That's it. I mean, I think it's an acceptance that being disciplined and consistent and determined and all these words are great. And if I don't develop feelings around it, my emotions, if I don't control them, they will control me. I said in a mentorship call, we had a mentorship call on Tuesday night, that you are not your feelings. You're just not. They're probably unreliable. At whatever level you guys are in your careers, I'll almost guarantee your emotions are unreliable. So you cannot operate based on how you feel unless you're going to do some work with me, like in performance, for example. I told you, I train people to come out and perform not from their emotions at all. They come out from their physical self. I know, I'll do it right now. I know that if I come out, okay, first I'll just be like normal, okay? So if I come out and I'm like, oh, hi, hi, I'm Lorraine, but now I'm going to, there's a physical feeling. I know that when I do this and I do that, I can fucking turn, I'm not looking at you. I don't care even if you're looking at me. I don't care. I've trained my eyes. I've trained my body. That is the musical theater dancer training that I've had much of my life since I was 4. You come out 8 shows a week, whether you feel like it or not. And we have gotten way too soft in allowing your emotions to run your life. Your emotions only determine the quality of your life. Now, that distinction, you are not your feelings, and you cannot rely on them to give you what you need. But I will guarantee that the quality of your life is based on your emotional state. And if you are too emotionally up and down and all around, the quality of your life is the same. You are who you are, who you need to be. Do you do that can happen? Because that is an action. When I start to put in action, I told you, I generate it from my physical being. I'm not waiting on you. I am not waiting on the audience at all. I am showing up here whether there's one person or 10,000 people, you guys. Whether I make $1 or $10,000, Lorraine Lawson will be the same. Or do you have contingencies and all these, based on your circumstances and how you feel and whether it's sunny out or whether it's a March 1st or whether it's September 1st or August 1st. I'm better in the summer. I've had singers who are like, no, I can't do the session at 10 a.m. because I really only sing great at 6 p.m. Well, then you're in the wrong business, or you need to build more skill so that you can sing anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Lady Gaga, great example of that. You would think she's already at the arena level. What did she do a few years ago when she put out Joanne? She went to bars, 200, 500, 2,000. She was like, I am not doing what everyone expects me to do. I'm going to do it different. I'm going to connect to people with this music, and I want to go into and small. Roy Woods just did that with his Me to You tour. I have opened for Drake. I have been on the arena tours. I want to get close and personal. And we worked out moments. If you go to Roy Woods, he's now starting to post a lot of videos live from the shows. You will see him in the crowd. We worked that, created the moments that people will never forget. So are you going to say, no, I'm only at that level now. I'm not going to perform this level. I only want this level. Then I think you're in the wrong industry. Do you love it or not? What level of love is it? There's a distinction too. I told you I'd give you 4 distinctions today. I've given you like 20. What level of love do you have for what you are doing? Because it doesn't matter then who is experiencing it with you. And then Ash, it goes to the get and the give. I don't care. I do it because I love it. Do you love it at that level? That's your why. Do you love it at that level? Can you train this level of love for what you do and who you are and why you do it? Hell yes, you can. That's why you're here. It's to train it. Okay? So who signed up for ADI? Who's already signed up for ADI? Okay, great. So, I thought you did, madam, that's on me. So listen, what can I do to convince you to sign up? Nothing. I can only be. I've already made the offer. It's 50% off until tomorrow. So money is out. Effort. It's going to take effort for you to say yes. You're going to have to set aside the time. I've dealt with the money because it's not expensive. One coaching session with me is $275. It's less than that. So, and you get me over 4 weeks. And you're going to get emails upon. I'm a very big email communicator. I'm a huge communicator. And you're going to get a. So until tomorrow, I'm going to do this again tomorrow because, again, I'm not a strong administrator or speller, as you just figured out. So I put out totally the wrong date. And we're doing this on Sunday, March 3rd. And then James went, Lorraine, I think it says March 2nd. So here we are. Tomorrow, I'm going to do it different. Ash has already been on one of these, and you know that the last one wasn't it? I can do this. I got a muscle right here. Okay, I got a muscle called I'm a coach, and I will coach it and say it in a million different ways till Sunday until you get it. This is not a one size fits all. This is not a I will only say this and you have to get what I'm saying. I will keep saying how to stand out, how to make memorable moments, how to love your life, how to love what you're doing at a higher level. I will say it till Sunday a million different ways because I want you to get it. That's my want. That's my commitment to you. Okay? So if you have any questions about ADI, and I really do only offer it twice a year, the next one won't be until the fall, so I can deal with that. We've dealt with money. We've dealt with effort. We got to deal with time. I will give replays on it. But then we have all these guests that come on. It's pretty extraordinary. And like I said, and people make it again and again. Because even for me, I do it right along with you. In fact, every exercise that I give, I do. And I keep learning. I keep learning about me. I think this is like the journey to where I want to go. It's endless. I don't know about you, but it's endless. And then along the way, we kind of just, it's like a little pin, you know, when you go on a road trip and you kind of pin where you've been on the map. It's like, oh, I got there. That's kind of cool. What am I going to look around here for, right? I'm on a little sightseeing. Do I really want to drive? In fact, my husband and I are planning a road trip in the summer. And he's a big concert person. So that's why I can talk about all these concerts because I've been to so many of them. It's kind of crazy. So we are going to see a band called Texan Truck? No. Tuscan Truck? Please tell me. They're like a husband wife killer blues band. Test.
Yeah. Trucks.
You know
It's
what I'm talking
trucks.
about, okay?
Yeah. They're amazing.
They're
Yeah,
amazing.
they're
I've heard.
fucking amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Another weird thing about me, I actually don't listen to music for pleasure because I'm just around music every day. So my car is on silent a lot of the time. Maybe I'll listen to podcasts more and more, but I don't listen to much music. Anyway, my husband loves music, thank God. So we're seeing them. Two obsessed with going to multiple nights of shows because my husband knows. We went to Willie Nelson last year, 90th birthday at the Hollywood Bowl. It was 2 nights. Because we know it's always different. Even if they play the same song, it's never exactly the same way. It's so cool to see someone multiple times. We saw Maroon 5 in 2022 to 2023 3 times in 1 year. I highly recommend seeing the same band, same artist multiple times. Like, go see Favron, you guys, in the next year multiple times because every time he is going to grow, give you something a little different, and maybe throw in some new music or old. It's so cool to me to see artists that are different. Okay, so we're doing that. Then we're going to so that is in Red Rocks. It's also a bucket list. Okay, I've got a bucket list where I love venues. So I got this bucket list. We're going to go to Red Rocks, and then we're going to drive somehow up to Washington to see Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. How we go from there to there. Same with you. Same with you. Just think about this analogy that I'm giving you. You are wherever you are in your life, you are somewhere. You want to go is also somewhere. How you get there is irrelevant. You just want to get there. And the cool thing about my analogy of our little road trip that my husband is planning, we get to plan it. We get to like stay maybe 2 days here and maybe 1 day there and maybe days somewhere else. We get to see and learn and spot something new, see something new, meet new people. Yo, we get so fixated in our life of the destination of where we want to be, we stop living. We stop living in the in-between. And the in-between is effing amazing. That's where the magic lies. But you guys are stuck on where you want to get to. You don't have your 10 million followers, so you're like, I'm not going to share until I have 10 million followers. I'm not going to share I have 10 songs. What? No! Share you, because you are in the room right now. Don't share just what you do. Share who you are. And life gets really interesting. I hope that this was very inspiring for you guys. It was very inspiring for me. I love it. I never 100% know what we're going to do. I just want you to know that's how much I trust myself. Remember, I said 4 distinctions? I gave you 20. I did little exercises that you can take right now. Take it right now. If any of them lit you up, let's go. ADI, every single week, we're going to have exercises. You have a full workbook that goes along with it that you can do the exercises. And whether you do them or whether you don't, again, is irrelevant. The how you get there doesn't matter. You just need to get there, don't you? Yes, Mandem, you have a question.
First of all, this was definitely the most powerful program or webinar that I've been to. Thank you so much for it. I also want to say thank you to Michael, Ash, James, and Kristen for sharing their perspective. It definitely got my brain turning wheels, like you mentioned. Uh, Honestly, I don't know much about ADI. This is the first time I'm hearing that there is a workshop that you're conducting. I had a question. Is it like in person or it's online?
No, but a bucket list, and James is going to help me fulfill it next year and make it in person because I really do it is online. So it's on Zoom
Oh,
just like this.
right.
Live. It's live. So just like this. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. Um, and it's on Zoom. So you can do it from the comfort of your home. And
Okay,
it's
that's
priced,
amazing.
listen, it's priced based on that. Think about it.
Mhm.
It's $500. So normally it's $500.
Oh, okay.
And that to me is really reasonable for a 4-week program, right?
Okay, it's a four
But,
week. And what does it
but
stand for? I'm sorry, I'm just being very
yeah,
naive about this. I
yeah.
don't know what is it.
James will put it in. Can you put it in the chat, James? The link for 50% off,
Okay.
and then we'll also put in the link so that you can like look at it, like you can see what it's all about. So it's a 4 weekly classes. So we do every Wednesday 6 p.m. and
Oh,
8 to 7:30. But the truth is, I often go over. So just be prepared to go over. And also, we will have a guest that comes on usually around 7:15 that will
no.
take us into however long the guest is willing to stay, and if you guys have questions or whatever. So I can tell you that the guests that are on are really cool that I've got lined up, and every time that I've done it, I've had very cool guests. Also, like art, I like when artists are also so learn from them. It's not just industry. I find that the industry is a little bit backwards. I just told you about fish. I can tell
Right.
you that several of the art. Are you an artist, Mandan?
Yes, I am. I make I make sounds. That's how I like to put. Because I don't like restricting myself to any particular genre. So I, I
Amen.
I experiment with music, and I love doing that. So, but
Amen. I love that.
predominantly, I would, if I had to put a genre on it, then I would say rap.
Okay, cool. So I do work with rappers like Akintoy, Roy Woods, just to name two, Viles.
I
So I,
Sorry to interrupt. I actually am here because one of your student that you mentor, Prism.
oh, Prism. Yeah, awesome.
Yes, so he's actually a good friend of mine, and I saw your clip that you like on Beat Cave. They posted a clip. I could not attend Camp 9, but I've been to Camp 8. That was my first one. So I was kind of pissed that, oh, I should have been there. This is something new that they introduced. Last camp, they didn't have any speaker. Like they did have speaker, but uh, sorry to say that, but not so powerful. So,
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So ADI, you're going to go onto the link that's there, and you're going
Mhm.
to see that it's 4 weekly classes. And
Okay.
it ends the 4th week. We end with pitching who we are. So you're
I
going to pick who you are and what you do, why you do it, and who you do it for. So you can start to identify that target audience powerfully. You can really let someone know with perfect communication what you do and why
Right.
you do it. That's how we can enroll other people in this vision that you have for your career, right?
No,
You do
sure.
want an audience. We do want to attract the audience, but we don't want to attract just any audience. That's the whole point. You really, I just posted it on my Instagram, but it's worth reading the article that I just wrote because it's about attracting the right audience. Again, I don't need 8 billion million followers only for them or something to go viral, only that I post or the next thing that I do to lie flat. You know what I mean? So we
Right.
really do want to attract the right people. So ADI is sort of a deep dive into all of these things. It's 50% off until tomorrow. And people have paid $500 for it. It's worth $500 minimum. And then here my goal is that it will be in person or hybrid. Like I usually do a hybrid version of our performance boot camp as well. It's hybrid. It's in person and online. So I never want people, not to have access to it. And listen, being powerful, I appreciate it. Being powerful is something I've worked on. Being inspiring, you guys, is something I've worked on, and you can too. That every time you show up, I didn't know who was going to be at Beat Cave. I had no idea. Was it going to be 5 people? Was it going to be, I guess there was about 50 people by the time, right, it started. But when I started, there was probably only 20 people, James, do you think? And so as I went, people were trickling in and trickling in. I'm not there to
Right.
inspire that audience. Okay, just hear me out with this theory. Again, back to it. I am there to inspire me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said yes. Second why is to inspire whoever's in that room. I'm gonna light you up, man, no matter what. No matter what. I go in with that, but I go in for me. So I say yes because I want to be there. So I never get drained. I never get exhausted. Life when you want to show up. And I'm not going to rely on the audience's emotional state. I'm going to change it. I'm going to transform it. Me. And by the way, you as an artist, producer, songwriters, hairdressers, whatever you're doing in your life to be creative, don't you want to do that too? I want to love hairdressing so much. Michael, you have no idea. If you're sitting in my chair and I got some scissors in my hand, you got to trust me. You have to trust me on a really serious level. That Vic Blends, I love that guy. You know, he made a name for himself because people would trust him sitting there. And then he, you know, takes his little razor and holy crap, people share their whole life story. Why? Because they're so vulnerable in that position. They're so vulnerable, right? Back is to you. They got this thing around them. They can't even use hands, right? It's a very vulnerable place to be. So the person has to trust you. It's a beautiful analogy for life. If you want great people in your life, they have to know to trust you. And that requires skill. That requires experience. And that requires consistent investment in both, doesn't it? And then you have to put that person at ease. It's your responsibility to be able to put at ease. And you can't do that if you don't trust you. How can I put someone else at ease if I don't trust what comes out of my mouth? If I don't trust my physical body, if I don't trust, does that make sense? We gotta build the skills to trust ourselves. And someone said to me that day, my God, you're so confident. Hell yes, I am. Because I'm confident in who I am. What I do is just an expression of who I am. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It just doesn't matter anymore. It used to matter what I was doing. I cared. My identity was attached to being a singer, or my identity attached to being a performer. My identity is not attached to anything anymore. Nothing. Because who I am is my identity. Who I choose to be, who I want the world to see. I'm in control of that, and so are you. But we got to train it. We have to train it. And so I train myself each and every day. And every time I coach you, whoever you is, I train myself every single time. I get better at it every single time. So this is my accountability, Kirsten. I've built in my own accountability. Do you see? So like people say, well, I do this for free. Because every time I do it, I get something. I get better. I become a better coach. And I gave it away for free. And then sometimes I'm going to charge you. And by the way, he took one thing and I hired him. So he took one thing, invested one more than what he paid. I'm just, think about that. So he invested in me and I invested it right back to him. That's how I work. Ask James. This is how I roll. You invest in me, I will invest in you. Kirsten, have I not done that for you too?
100%. I mean, tenfold, so make that 1,000.
You invest in me and I will invest in you. Period. That's just the way it works. That's the way life works, you know? We want to influence each other. We want to be an influence. So I strongly recommend it. I love this program because it's a deeper dive into who you are. A much, much deeper dive into who you are. And it does require the 4 weeks to do it. And then by the end, Ash, because I know you signed up for it, you are going to be expressing yourself. Woo! Like you're just going to be expressing yourself. Express yourself. You got.
I'm signing up for whatever you're giving. I'm there. I want to do the performance boot camp. I want to do it all. I just like, it's like what you said about, you know, being around what you want to aspire to be. You know, it's like you hold this light and this knowledge and this work that you've done, and I see it in you, and it's like there's a trust there because of how you show up, you know. And also it's like synchronistic, and it's like it's God, it's the universe, it's all that stuff, you know. So I'm just excited to work with you. I'm so grateful for what you're offering, and I just so much see the value of this in my life right now. Like I honestly didn't even care about what it was that I was signing up for. I was just like, I just want to like get to know this woman. And then I'm like, actually, this is exactly what I fucking need right now. So, you know, so yeah.
You're
I'm
bringing
really
up
excited.
things like I think we all need this, right? We all need it. We all need a greater sense of self in order for our life to be better, to
So we
be.
don't get like chewed up and swallowed up, and you know, it's like looking for your worth outside of yourself. It's like knowing what your worth is inside of yourself, so that that doesn't happen, right? It's like finding your center. And yeah, I get it. It's like easy for me to say it, but it's like I also like I need, it's like a skill, right? Like that I need to learn and I want to learn. So I'm just so grateful to learn this, honestly. Thank you.
Love it so much. So I created ADI about 10 or 11 years ago. So it's also something I've been teaching for a long time. And then out of this, I created a mentorship program. So Ash, it could be something like as we're working in ADI, we'll talk about the mentorship program. And in the mentorship program, so Kirsten's been in it for about a year. Kirsten, I think since March of last year. It's a 6-month commitment, but the idea is that I give you everything. So I'll hold your hand for 6 months. You'll get one-on-one time with me plus group time. And then you get everything. You get performance boot camp, you get ADI, you get every program I run for 6 months. So
Yeah,
it's
I really want to talk to you about that.
yeah, it's sort of a, like for me, I created it, like James has been in it with different configurations. First it was 3 months, and it was 4 months. And then people were asking for longer. So I made it 6 months, and then people just keep staying in it. Because it's really that manager or what you think an agent is going to do for you or your best friend that is there. And the truth is that we don't always have people in our life that really get us at a creative level or that identity level. It's very hard for people with normal jobs, for example, to really get it. Or the people who want certain, I'm on a different page right now, but who want certainty over uncertainty. Or the people who want comfort, right, over discomfort. The truth is the artist will always have some level of discomfort. Discomfort leads to learning and growth, period. Every time you fail, every time you make a mistake, every time you feel uncomfortable, you are now going to look at that as an opportunity to grow and to learn. The people who stay comfortable do not have that same desire to grow and learn. They care about that sense of safety and certainty, and they're not going to take risks because of it. But creative people do. And so we have to be around other creative people. You have to be with other people who understand the balance of the human that wants some things that are certain and some things that are uncertain. By the way, I don't want to be around a person who only wants uncertainty, because uncertainty can lead to inconsistency. A lot of uncertainty can be the person who is looking for risk and adventure and is a little dangerous or reckless, and sometimes is extraordinary and sometimes, has fallen down. And do you know what I mean? So there's often not consistency in the uncertainty, but we need both. And your audience needs both in order to keep them, not to get them, not to get them. You can get them at either side. Okay, this is important. We're going to go through this in ADI and a deeper level. You can attract the audience with uncertainty or certainty, but you can't keep them. You have to have both, which means that you have to understand it for yourself. Make sense? Awesome. So I'm so excited to go into this. And if you wanted to jump into ADI now, you can. And then I'll just take off what you paid for ADI. That's what I'll do for you.
Thank you
So,
so much.
okay. So, and if you are interested, Mandam, if you're interested in the mentorship program, even though you have never taken another program, usually people take a program and then they sign up for the mentorship program, but I'll do the same. So if you've already paid for ADI, I'll do what I just did for Ash. I'll just deduct it.
Can you send me details? Like where can I find like that?
It's
like the hard conversation, you know, like the pricing and shit like that. I just really want to like figure it out. So, because I mean, this is a conversation for me and you, but definitely I 100,000,000% want to do that. So
just know, let's get on either a quick call. So I'll send you an email, and I'll send Michael an email and Mandam, because it sounds like you're interested in that too. And then we can get on a quick call, just one-on-one, and we'll figure it out. But just so that you know, it's not expensive. Nothing I do is that expensive.
Whatever. I heard this. There's this really good quote, and the quote is like, if you want what we have, and you're willing to go to any lengths to get it, then like you're ready to do that. You know, it's like whatever. Anyways, there's a willingness, right? So like,
the willingness, yeah. I have another little theory, which is I don't want people to do what they can't afford. And that's my ethical bound to you and to me. I don't want anyone to do what they cannot afford to do. This industry will take every dollar you throw at it. So this is like the casino, okay? So let's be responsible. That's why I don't overcharge for anything. And I will say, if you can't afford it, then it's not the right time for you. So time, effort, money, and your emotional well-being. I can guarantee these 3 things are going to be worth your time. I can guarantee it's going to be worth your effort. I can guarantee that you're going to get something amazing out of it emotionally. You're going to feel incredible. It's always the money thing, right? Like, can I afford it financially? And then the question would be, well, can you afford not to do it? Can you afford to not? We can't. So we just have to make it affordable. So anyway, we'll talk. I'll send you an email. Okay?